After taxes, $1,056. My rent alone is $1,500, guys. Yes, I have a new car. We needed a car.
I'm a nurse practitioner.
And how much do you make?
Not enough. I make $120.
$120,000. Not enough. What people would do to get paid $120,000? Jeez. Never in a million years did I think we would get to a point where people would be so comfortable sharing their salaries and paychecks online for all of us to view. But here we are. Let's check it out.
Well, let's see how much my McDonald's manager paycheck was for these last 2 weeks. I came to the bank, but I think they're closed. I think I'm going to have to come back after work to actually deposit my check.
Before she shares what her McDonald's manager's salary is, anybody have any guesses? I have absolutely no idea. I remember a couple of months ago, I actually drove by a McDonald's and I saw that they had a hiring manager sign willing to pay up to $90,000. That's a lot of money.
2 weeks worth of work, which is... Somebody was asking last time, multiple times. This is for 68 hours, which means I did not work a full 40 hours within the 2 weeks. And I worked 69 hours, and I did get a $10 bonus. And it says they gave me 3 hours of sick time. After taxes, $1,056. My rent alone is $1,500, guys. Yes, I have a new car. We needed a car. We could not.
Whoa.
We didn't have the money. The problem was with the car, we didn't have the money to keep putting money into an old car and keep fixing it. So we got a new car thinking that we wouldn't have to fix it, but that hasn't been the case. So there's my check for 2 weeks. I'll be back here in 2 weeks again. Bye.
Her rent is $1,500 a month, and she's bringing in only $2,000 a month. That is tough. Also, $2,000 a month is surprisingly low for a full-time job. I know she wasn't working a full 40 hours a week, but that's actually like surprisingly less than I thought. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's like maybe before taxes if she worked full-time, $50,000, which is kind of low, especially for like a manager's position. And then throw in the fact that she got a car, and we've made countless videos on the channel talking about the dangers of a car payment because it keeps you stuck. And now all you've done is bought something that's going to depreciate even faster than your older car, and it also needs more work. Anywho, I wanted to read some of the comments that people had left on this TikTok because I thought they were quite interesting. Somebody said, I don't understand how people live with $2,000 a month. I don't think it's a very feasible way to live. It's going to be very difficult and very stressful, especially if you still have bills. I guess somebody did do the math. They said around $17 to $17.50, which is, it's peanuts. $18.92 as a manager is sad. I would never do that. I know I've been out of the whole workplace thing since I'm self-employed, but it did seem a bit lower than what I think a manager should be getting paid. And I feel like she could definitely do better than that. A manager position at probably any other franchise would be giving her a salary closer to $60,000, $70,000.
This is what working at Amazon during peak season looks like. Today, for the first 4 to 5 hours, all we were doing was just picking. And there was a bunch of people today, so I got my own lane. And this was literally the easiest thing ever. And the whole time, I was just vibing, listening to music with the glasses I use to record these videos. Honestly, it's super chill, especially with music playing. It makes the time go by super quick.
That's actually insane. So the previous lady was making $18 an hour or $17.50 an hour as a manager at McDonald's, which I would imagine has its own problems and is a pretty difficult job to do. And here's somebody working at Amazon making $35 an hour. And the crazy part is he's bragging that it's like an easy job. You just scan some stuff and move this over there and then move that over here. And it's that simple. Anywho, I wanted to read a couple of comments that you guys had left on the previous Salary Insanity episode. It's been a while, but I highly recommend you check that video out. And if you guys want to get featured in the next episode, definitely make sure to drop your thoughts, salaries, job, work experience down in the comment section below. I'm sure we're all curious. Regarding your curiosity about how companies feel about employees disclosing their rates of pay, it's actually illegal for a company to discourage an employee from speaking about their pay. People are completely free and clear to do so. The companies like it? Probably not. The more transparency there is about the pay, the more people may request probably a raise or something. If John is getting 32 an hour and I'm getting 22 and we're doing the same job, I want to get a raise. Don't let your boss tell you to keep your wage a secret. It's illegal. It's your right to talk about it. This is good information, guys. I actually remember one of my first jobs, the manager had told me to keep your salary hush hush. Like, this is between you and I did for a long time. Until I found out that other employees were making more than me and doing less, and I got pissed. So I guess it's a common thing, but this is good information to know.
Here's the average net worth by age. Starting at 23, the average net worth is negative $31,000. Hold on, I need my glasses. Wait. No,
Student loans.
I read that right. At 26, the average net worth is negative $17,000. But don't you worry, by the age of 30, the average net worth is $23,000. And at the age of 40, the average net worth is $134,000. So if you're in your 20s or 30s and you feel like you're falling behind, keep in mind in the big picture, you're probably not doing that bad.
And that's why I wanted to include this video in here, because I feel like a lot of you guys might actually be surprised about hearing that. The overwhelming majority of people in their early 20s, maybe even late 20s, are in debt. And there's nothing wrong with that. Essentially, depending on what you went to college for, the student loans are an investment into your future. And ideally, it should hopefully land you a higher paying job or breaks the barrier of entry into a position that could lead to a higher paying job. Somebody actually quoted the comment that I made on the last video. I said, if you don't fix the hole in your pocket, rich or poor, the money will keep spilling out. Wonderful analogy. I'm glad you guys like that. The reason I brought that up is because I have friends that make $50,000, $60,000 and manage to squirrel away $25,000 of savings from it every year. And then I also have friends and know of people that make $200,000 a year, and they're living paycheck to paycheck, taking out loans, racking up credit card debt, and don't understand where it's all going. So while it is important to get your income up, if not more important, to reduce your overall cost of living and make sure there's no holes in your pockets.
I'm a nurse practitioner.
And how much do you make?
Not enough. I make $120.
$120,000. Not enough. What people would do to get paid $120,000? Jeez.
I am a pediatric speech language pathologist. How much are you making? 110 to like 125.
I'm a nurse anesthetist.
How much do you make?
Like
Wow.
280. I'm a physical therapist.
How much do you make in your role?
I make about 80,000.
It pisses me off that, like, I actually wanted to go to school to become a physical therapist. It costs a lot of money to get a master's degree, and then you become a physical therapist and you're only getting paid like $80K. It's not worth it.
I'm a respiratory therapist.
How much do you make?
I think like 70,000.
I am a dental hygienist.
And how much do you make?
It depends roughly from 55 to 60.
A dental hygienist. I make between $69 and $72 an hour.
Wow.
So I'm a cardiac anesthesiologist.
How much do you make?
Sometimes it's around like 200, sometimes it's around like 700.
I'm a resident psychiatrist.
How much are you making in your roles now?
81,000.
Really, what those salaries should tell you is to research your career a lot. Not every degree in college is worth it, and you have to weigh out the pros and cons because you really don't want to rack up $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 in student loans and then come out with a job that maxes out at $80,000 a year. It's going to make life very difficult for you. My wife and I make a combined $70,000 a year right now. We are saving around $30K per year. It's not that hard if you live simply. All those little everyday purchases add up quick and people don't realize it. And the craziest part is, like, the first lady was complaining that she doesn't make enough and she's clearing $120,000 a year. I understand after taxes and you're in a higher tax bracket and yada, 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 but it's called lifestyle creep. And I see this time and time and time again. And I've spoken to people that don't even realize it's happening to them, where they're making $80,000, $90,000, but they have the latest iPhone. They have a brand new car every 3 years. And it's like, yeah, no matter what the size of the raise is that you get, it's never going to be enough because you keep spending it all.
What's your paycheck look like at the end of the week?
It could range between like 500 to 700.
Okay. How long you worked for May for?
It's been 7 months. It's a great company. You know,
Okay.
I wish the pay was a little better. I'm already I got to move down Macon to get up out of there.
Why is there so much turnover in the trucking industry? You know, a lot of people leave to go to other companies like you're about to do.
Well, you know the pay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense.
I actually know a friend that's a trucker and runs his own trucking company, and he was telling me the reason there's a lot of issues in the trucking industry right now is people are using like stolen credit cards to buy gas, and they're able to like outbid other truckers picking up deals because, you know, their expenses are much lower, and it's totally disrupting the whole like chain in the trucking industry. But there's an important lesson to be learned in this, and it's that there's no more job security. And unfortunately, 40 years ago, in today's world, if you want to make more money, you have to be willing to quit and move to a different job. You have to job hop. My fiance has been doing it for several years. She finally found a company that she's really happy with a salary that she really likes. But the past 3 or 4 jobs before that, and I even remember my first couple of jobs, they promise you the world. They'll give you a raise. There's room for growth. Blah, blah, blah. They feed you whatever bullshit you want to hear to keep you there. And then you realize it's a dead end. And lots of people get stuck because they're in crippling amounts of debt with car payments and can't afford to swap to another job or quit to find another one because they're living paycheck to paycheck. Another reason why it is so important to have an emergency fund so you can support yourself in case you have to do that. Because your sanity and your ability to switch jobs is a lot more important than your paycheck, unfortunately.
What do you do for a living?
I work for Amazon. I'm a warehouse associate.
Okay, what do you make?
I make $23.40 an hour.
How many hours a week do you work?
So I'm supposed to be working 40 hours a week, but I kind of have a hard time getting up in the morning, so I'm often late to work.
Why would they not fire you?
That's a good question. Honestly, they have every right.
What time are you supposed to show up and what time do you show up normally?
Oh my gosh.
So I'm supposed to show up at 7:30 in the morning, and I usually show up anywhere between 8 to 1 p.m.
8 to 1 p.m.?
I mean, you know, it's just hard to get up in the morning sometimes.
Yes, I know that.
I don't think 1 p.m. in the afternoon is considered the morning. Her ass needs to be fired immediately.
Slacking.
I've been slacking for like 3 years now.
Geez, she is really giving the younger generation a bad rap in terms of laziness. Guys, not all of us are lazy. Some of the comments here are pretty funny. 8 to 1 is crazy. Actually, you know what's more crazy? The fact that some of you guys watching this video are not subscribed to the channel yet. Believe it or not, subscribing to the channel is completely free. Doesn't cost a dime, and you might actually learn a thing or two that could help you make money, save money, or invest. So definitely consider subscribing by clicking that button down below, as well as dropping a thumbs up if you like the content. There's people out here who would love a 40-hour-a-week job at $23 an hour. That's what I'm saying. And then you got people like this that are lazy. I hope she just gets fired. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you got coming for you. Showing up halfway through your shift, LMFAO. So I actually had a lot of you guys from the last video share your salary and what you do. And if you're up for it, definitely make sure to leave yours down below. I think it helps everybody understand maybe what fields or what other opportunities are out there if they feel like they're stuck in their current position. Somebody said, I'm an electrician and make $100,000 to $120,000 depending on overtime. Wife makes 90 grand. In Texas, have 1 kid, and working ourselves out of a credit card hole. It's insane how deep you can dig yourself if you're not careful. Yeah, guys, if you are not super disciplined, cut those credit cards off. The problem is a lot of people think they're more disciplined than they actually are, and they get themselves into situations like this.
I work in the oil field, and I make $16,000 a month. And I hear a lot of people say, must be nice and easy money. But trust me, this job is not easy. And you earn every penny that you get paid out here. You work 15-hour shifts for 30 days straight in a 90-degree heat and minus 40 below weather conditions. And whether you're sick, tired, it doesn't matter. You must show up every day and you must perform. And besides that, this job is extremely dangerous. A lot of people get hurt out here. A lot of people lose fingers. And even fatalities do occur in this field. Yes, the money is good, but you miss out on so much life.
Yeah, I give people in the trades a lot of credit. Some of those jobs are very dangerous, working on gas lines and power lines. Just the way the correlation is I guess the more dangerous or the harder it is to fill that position, the more people are willing to pay for it. Electrical engineer, scientist, 75,000 euros. I live and work in Germany. Super cool. I'm going to be visiting Germany at the end of this year. Very excited. My first time traveling abroad. That's not on a cruise ship. Very exciting. I'm a heavy-duty diesel truck mechanic, and I make $25 an hour with 6 years of experience in Ogden, Utah. Very cool. Heavy-duty diesel truck mechanic. That sounds very interesting because I like to get my hands dirty too. For those that don't know, I actually love working on cars. I even have a second channel where I'm always tinkering and messing around with stuff like that. I live in California. Job is an airplane mechanic for a major airline. Base pay $130K a year with overtime. Made 220 grand. Jeez. $110 an hour overtime rate. So this is how beautiful it is with you guys sharing this information, because here you have a diesel truck mechanic getting paid $25 an hour, and now you have somebody as an airplane mechanic, obviously different roles, but he's making $130K a year, and then with overtime grossed 220 grand.
Full day of work, and what I make is a 23-year-old Fedex driver. You know, I'm waking up, pounding some caffeine before work. That's what the van's looking like. So this job isn't paid hourly, so I'm running the doors. It's just paid up based off how many stops we have that day. So I'm always it looks kind of goofy, but I'm always kind of running up to the door so you get done as quick as possible. Also, this is what the area that I'm delivering at looks like right now. It's so freaking pretty. But yeah, so we have this iPad. Each dot is a house. You read the SID. That's that little number on the top. You go to the back of the van, look for the package. Then I run to the door, like I'm running up this apartment building, and then you get back and onto the next. So this is me looking for a SID to get out. Now a little midday caffeine recharge. Bro, then it started freaking raining on me. I was like, bro, that's the worst when it rains, I swear. So at the end of the day, we get paid $1.50 a stop. I had 250 stops today, or 240, so 360 bucks. But yeah, the pay can vary a lot. There's a lot of ways where you can make more money, so I can go over that in the future. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it for a typical day.
I bet you holiday pay probably raking in the money. It's almost like he's an independent contractor, and depending on his performance is how much he'll get paid. That's very interesting. Casino dealer, about $75,000, soon to be $80,000. My net pay is about $4,500 a month. Bills, $1,810. Rent, $950. 401k, $530. Insurance, $130. Utilities, $200. Expenses, $700. Gas, $100. Food, $600. I overspend on food. Work will feed me twice a day, but the food quality isn't great. Since my bills are low, I foolishly splurge on a little food. 401k was to finish paying off my $125,000 student loan, but it's my last debt, and I have a chunk rest of my available funds each month at that balance. I should be comfortably paid off by the end of the year, or worst case scenario, January of 2026. Well, hey, hopefully it's all paid off by now. It's actually pretty crazy to see just the variation of jobs here. A casino dealer, 75 to 80 grand. A FedEx driver pulling in, probably 60 to 70K, very similar. Totally different experiences and types of jobs.
It's payday. Neurosurgeon living in San Francisco. My monthly income of $32,000 just hit my account.
Budgeting my $32,000 salary? That's nothing. How would anybody live off that?
So I'm sitting down to plan my budget and see exactly where it's going.
It's per month. Jeez.
So I'm sitting down to plan my budget and see exactly where it's going. I start by writing down the payday and the amount, then I move straight into my bills. $6,500 for my apartment, $420 for electricity, water and gas, $120 for internet, $140 for my phone bill, and $180 for insurance and subscriptions. Next are my lifestyle expenses. $1,200 on groceries, $900 on eating out because hospital hours are brutal, $750 on clothes and workwear, $180 for my gym membership. And yes, I won't lie, about $1,100 a month goes to skincare, hair, massages, and self-care because stress management is non-negotiable in my job. $50 for my car payment. Then we get to savings, which is a big priority for me. $6,000 into investments, $4,000 into retirement accounts, and $1,200 set aside for travel, so I always have something to look forward to. Whatever's left after all, that stays in my checking account.
Felt checking wrong. Sorry. I just noticed things like that. Sorry.
The buffer and flexible spending. A few years ago, this kind of income still felt overwhelming to manage, but now every dollar has a purpose. If you're earning good money and still feel like it disappears, it might be time to actually sit down and start budgeting.
Being a neurosurgeon is, I'd say, pretty difficult and also sets you up for lawsuits because you're doing a job that can go wrong, and hopefully it never does. Maybe I missed it, but usually you have to pay some sort of like malpractice insurance. I think that's what it's called. Some sort of insurance to cover yourself, because people like to sue doctors all the time for whatever reason, mistakes, non-mistakes, whatever it is. But that's pretty fascinating. And I get it, especially with such a high stress job. It makes sense to spend a little extra money on yourself because it's just like hot and cold and hot and cold and hot and cold. And it certainly takes a toll on your body, but that's an impressive salary. I was an accountant and was always stunned at how many doctors retired with almost nothing. They always spent more than they made. See, this is an interesting comment, especially since we just saw what her salary was. However, she is setting money aside for saving and investing in retirement, so that is good, but not many doctors do that. Many doctors have, car payments even larger than that, or mortgage payments that are tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay, it's 2 days before our payday. How much money do you think you have in your account?
I'm hoping like at least $40.
$40?
How much? I'm in the single digits, guys. I have $7.46.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. It's 2 days before payday. How much money do you think you have in your bank account?
I think I have like 17. 31.
Hey. Okay, it's 2 days before payday. How much do you think is in your bank account?
$63. Oh, $1.13.
Okay, there's 2 days until payday. How much money do you think you have in your bank account?
I think I probably have like 400.
Jeez.
500? I should be fine.
Good. That's
$100.
I have $126.
Hey, that's not bad.
It's not 400.
It's 2 days before payday.
You're
How
11.
much money do you think you have in your bank account?
Couple hundred.
Okay.
Pretty accurate.
Hey.
But I'm saving it for
$200.
backing, so in 2 days, not so much.
Why are we paying our teachers peanuts? And I have heard this. Vast majority of teachers teaching, I don't know what it is, high school and middle school and elementary school, do not get paid well at all. Unless it's like New York City or Long Island, then it tends to veer a little bit higher. But the rest of the country, 30, 40, 50K, 60K maybe. It's crazy. It really does show you that this market is very skewed on what they consider valuable in the marketplace here. Paycheck to paycheck with a master's degree is wild. People always say, oh, well, we don't do it for the money. But at some point, you have to realize that it is somewhat important. And unfortunately, if you're coming out of college with $150,000 or whatever it is in student loans, and you're making 40 or 50K, it's just all messed up. You shouldn't go into that career. I hate to tell you that, but that's insane. Had a parent complain I didn't buy my students mints before their state test on Facebook because it helps her child focus. I commented, I'm sorry, the kids were disappointed they didn't have mints to help them concentrate. I currently have negative $17.36 in my bank account, but will gladly accept donations from families for my classroom. She deleted her post and hasn't said a word since.
24 years old. I'm a full-time realtor here in Arizona, and this is exactly what I made every month for the past 12 months. Starting strong, June of last year at $9,500, September $8,300, August $0.
Wow.
September $5,200, exactly, not even a penny over. October $0. Sorry, was too busy planning my Halloween costume. Made up for it in November though, almost 50K in November. December $0. It was my birthday and I was also traveling.
Whoa.
And that continued on in January $0. February $5,800. March $22,000. April I closed one, but it's not there. I think it might be in May. $16,000 in May. And $10,000 in June, plus another $4K on one that I have closing next week. So in total, the past 12 months, I've made this much money.
That's insane. Honestly, real estate agents and being a realtor isn't one of those jobs that you should just kind of jump right into, because the pay is entirely based on how well you are as a salesperson. I mean, that's a phenomenal pay, and I would bet you she's in like the top 1% of real estate agents out there. But I understand how it is, because it's like the days you don't perform, the months you don't perform, you don't get paid. That's how it is with me as a content creator. The months or the days that I want to take off or not work, I don't get paid for. I might even lose money taking days off. So it's a very tough job. And I probably work like all the time. Like there's no breaks. I get up, I start working, checking emails, go to the gym, come home, breakfast, start working, continue working throughout the day. I mean, but I love it. So it's really a give or take. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Definitely hope you liked today's episode. Crazy how people are so willing to share their salaries online. Crazy. But if you guys are comfortable or up for it, or if your account's anonymous, definitely make sure to drop your salaries or paychecks down in the comment section below. I love reading them. I love sharing them. It definitely helps other people looking for careers or wanting to switch careers. So I think it is really important that we have job transparency out there. And of course, the more information you put into it, if you want to share your rent and car payment and stuff like that too. But that's going to be it for today's episode. Definitely make sure to smash the like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe. And if you haven't seen the last video we make on salary transparency, definitely check it out right after this. Peace.